Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, glad you're here. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this, and we'll jump right in today. I'm going to be showing you guys about Hashcat and how to use the built-in modules to crack passwords from hashes that you've obtained, either from like a data leak or if you've run some kind of pen test and you've been able to capture users' hashes, but I'll show you how to use Hashcat to crack those. So go ahead and jump right in here. So inside my Kelly Linux machine, I have a virtual machine running, just have terminal pulled up. I've set up some example hashes just to show you guys how this works. So I have some MD5 hashes that are done NTLM. I'll cat these out so you guys can see those. And cat out NTLM. Okay. So here we have 3 examples MD5 hashes. Then we have 3 examples NTLM hashes. MD5 hashes can be obtained from different database thing. Depends on what encryption is used by the company when they're encrypting people's passwords. I know Windows environments, if you're doing like a pen test and you dump the NTDS file or the SAM database file, you'll get NTLM v2 hashes. So we'll go ahead and I'll show you kind of Hashcat. We'll start with a help file. You do -h or you can do --help. Either one will work. I'll go up to the top here and start where we just run that from. As you can tell, it's a very big help file, and I'll show you guys how to kind of limit this down to what you're looking for as well in just a second. So to start off, you have your -m, which is your hash type. You'll see like -m1000. So this is the module that you're using against the hash. So if you have an MD5 hash, you use a certain module. If you have an NTLM hash, it's a different module. NTLM version 2 is different. If you're cracking WPA2 like Wi-Fi hashes, it's also a different module. Then you have -A, which is your attack mode. Example here is -A3. And it says here, see references below. I'll show you that in just a second as well. This is pretty much the only options that you'll need to run anytime you're using Hashcat. Let's scroll on down here. --show, that will come up. Sometimes if you've already cracked a hash and it has it in its pot file and it knows that it's cracked, you'll just run the same command, but you'll put --show like right there on the end of the terminal, like the command that you're running, and it'll go ahead and show the password cracked with the hash. So scoot down. We'll get to these modules. So here you have different modules. Like I was saying, the -m switch that you'll use. You have MD4, MD5, all the SHAs, SHA-256. You'll see that pretty often. MD5 is still around. You'll see a lot of that. Let's see. MD5. It also has some that can add salt and stuff with the password to them as well. Looking for some of the other ones. I think NTLM's 1000, if I remember correct. So trying to scan through. As you can tell, it's a lot of modules that they offer to run. So you have MS Office, PDF modules, Apple Secure Notes, Apple iWork, 1Password, Cloud Keychain, LastPass. So in here, WinZip, we see there. You see iTunes Backup. Let's see, Django. So we'll skip down output or out file format. This is what it's going to output to that you want to look at. Format, this is if you're wanting to change kind of the word that you're using, like the rules. You can add rules and stuff to it as well to alternate. Like if you're using a plain word list, you can add a rule set to kind of mutate the word list so it can go through. Mode, this is useful if you're trying to brute force a password. If you're trying to brute force using a CPU, it's going to take a lot of resources, maybe get hot in timeout, and it will take a very long time versus running a GPU, which is the graphical output, like a graphics card, such as like MSI's GeoForce or Gigabyte, or I think it's some of the better. I think one of the better ones going right now is the RTX 4090. So but you'll see it has the mode. You have the character set. If you want to do like a mask, you can build your own character set. See L for lowercase, U is uppercase, D's, of course, digits. H is a mixture of these numbers and lowercase letters. Capital H is just same thing, uppercase letters. S stands for special characters. You'll see kind of special characters it runs here. A lot of people will do their password. They'll use a capital letter in like the first slot, and then at the end of it, they'll do the special character like an exclamation, asterisk, or something like that. Then you have A, which means it will test every character, lowercase, uppercase, digital, and special characters in each spot that you're running it through if you set the mask up that way. Device type, this is where you have CPU, GPU, and so on. Sort of profiles, don't use basic examples. They give you an example here. The attack mode they're using is 0. The module, which is -M, they're using is 400. This is the hash file that they have. And this is what it's going to output to, or the list they're using, the word list against this hash that they're running it against. Then you have word list plus rules. That's what I'm saying. You can use rules and best, and it will mutate kind of the list that you're using as well. You have brute force, combinator, association. The stuff we're doing today is not brute force. We're going to be running a word list against it to kind of just show how Hashcat works with a word list. I could do brute force, and I have a GPU stuff built for that, but for time's sake of the video, I'd have to use a really simple password like the usual like QWERTY or 12345 that you see, or the word password, to make it work for like, TV land, I guess, for just for the sake of the video. But I don't do that. I don't like to give people like false hope that everything will crack that easy. Some people do use weak passwords. It's common if you research or Google like the top 10, like QWERTY's in their password, like the numbers 1 through 9. So it's all very simple things that people are using for their passwords. So, or seasons with like the year and a special character end. You can usually crack a lot of passwords with that. So, but brute forcing is possible. Like I said, I would recommend the GPU instead of a CPU though. That way it runs faster, don't get as much heat, you can calculate a lot more. Or doing it's called a GPU farm. When you have 3 or 4 GPUs built up like a password cracking like rig, just made especially to crack passwords. If you're doing pen testing, that's something you may have. Most folks that just want to learn Hashcat and like are on YouTube or whatever don't have that set up, don't really need that set up. So today I'm just going to be running everything using my CPU. So I'm going to do Hashcat. And if you have a GPU, you can do -I, and it will show you what interfaces you have and what ID is, which I only have one, which is number 1, and it's my CPU. You can see it's a Ryzen 5600X 6-core. So had I had my GPU in this, I'm on a virtual machine, so it doesn't show up. But if I was running this on my main driver like Windows and had Hashcat, or my main install of Kali that I have on a separate hard drive, my GPU would show up here as well, and I would just select that device when I was running Hashcat. So clear the screen using Control L. Do Hashcat again. And let's do... So you can use grep if you're looking for a certain module number, or if you're looking for a certain word. So in this example, I have NTLM v2. So say I have a NTLM v2 hash that I've captured or dumped from a Windows machine, and I'm trying to crack it. So if I can't remember what hash it is, instead of going through like that entire long list of Hashcat, trying to find the little module that says NTLM v2, spending all that time, I can do this and grep it, hit enter, and it's going to show me right where it is in the help file, and you're going to see that it's 5600 is going to be the NTLM. And then it also has the NT version only, which is 27,100. So you can see the module there. Today we're going to be doing MD5, and I'm going to do a regular NTLM. So if I do MD5, you'll see here at the top of the module, it's just module 0, and that will be MD5, and you will see that it's just a raw hash. So, and then we can do the same thing. We can do NTLM. And you'll see just regular NTLM is module 1000. It just says operating system. So to get my hashes, I use a online hash generator just for sake of ease and for demonstration. Website I use here is called browserling.com. Tools, all hashes, and you can type in just a word and hit calculate hashes, and it'll fill every box down your NTLM, MD5, so forth and so on. So whatever you want to put in there, it will make a hash for you, just to keep things kind of simple. So can you see that it changed for the welcome one password? You can also do this in CyberChef. If you're not familiar with it, it's a fantastic tool for encoding, decoding like base64 and things. You can also do the same inside of Burp Suite in their decoder. But you can put in a word and we'll just do password again. And you'll see there in the bottom it just says password currently. That's because we haven't added the recipe, as they call it up here. Also, I have this set to auto bake down here in the bottom. This is just so when I put the recipe in here that it'll go ahead and change the output for me. But you'll see that I'm under hashing on the CyberChef side here. Then we'll go down and I'll just pick, we'll do MD5. You'll just drag that right in. And you'll see that this is now changed to this hash. So this hash that you see here is the MD5 hash of the word password. So we'll jump back in. We'll go ahead and crack these hashes. And I'm going to start with the MD5 hashes. So I'll do my -m module 0, and you see MD5 hash, which is the hash file that I just showed you guys at the beginning. Hash .txt. Then you're going to add in your word list. I'm just going to use RockU. I'll take the stash show off because I've had it on for demo. So this is going to pull the word list from the user file, share, word list, and it's going to use rocku.txt. If you're not familiar with rocku.txt, it's a password dump from years ago from like MySpace things. I think it's just over 14 million passwords that's in this list. There's also another version of RockU out that's a little bigger than that. I can't remember the file size. It's something crazy. They're like 20 gigs or something that you'd have to have on your hard drive just for that password file, but it's humongous. So now that we have the module we're using, the hash we're going against, which the hash list, I have 3 hashes in there, and the file location of the word list, we'll go ahead and hit enter. And then you'll see that it's kicking off, and it's already cracked them. It took it 2 seconds to crack the 3 hashes that I uploaded to it. So you'll see that this hash resolved to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one resolved to the word secret with a capital S, and then this one resolved to password with the asterisk, $signs, the 0 for the O, and then exclamation point at the end. So 2-second turnaround on 3 hashes is pretty incredible, especially running the CPU. Again, this is definitely demonstration purposes. Real world, you may see stuff, it'll say it's taken 7-8 hours, or some will be like greater than 10 years, depending on the length that the password is used by the person and like the significance of like if they're using special characters or uppercase, lowercase, and things like that along those lines. So let's go back. We'll do Hashcat because I'm going to do the NTLM hashes that I was telling you guys about. We'll do help. I'm going to grab the NTLM so I can get the module that I need. So I see that the module is 1000. So I'm going to do Hashcat. I'm going to do -m for module. I'm going to do 1000. I'll do my NTLM hash. What you see here, .txt, that's the 3 hashes of NTLM that I catted out. Here's the word list I'm using again. We'll hit enter. Let that run, and it cracked as well, and it was just really fast. It may have been faster this time because I had cracked it and dumped, like, erased the pop file like a day or two ago when I was getting set up to do this video. But you'll see that this NTLM changed to QWERTY. This one is password, and then this one is welcome1. So you guys are, you can try this at home. Feel free to. If you need hashes, like I said, you can go to this browserling.com, or you can go to CyberChef, put in a hash that you want to, or just go to simply Google and type in something like MD5 hash generator, and it will pull up a site that you can just type in something like you have MD5 hash generator. type in whatever word you want to try here. Like one of the common ones you'll see in RockU and that I've seen in the real world is "let me in" as a password. Highly insecure, so don't use that. But just for this, we'll hit generate. You'll see that it creates this MD5 hash for me here. So we can copy that. Go back, we can run this. We can just do mousepad. Just new hash. TXT. I'll throw that hash in there. Go ahead and save this. Close that back out. We'll run Hashcat -m. We'll do module 0 because it's an MD5 hash. We'll do new hash, TXT. We'll choose RockU for this as well. Share, list, RockU, TXT. We'll let that run. It cracked that fast to 0 seconds. So you'll see that this is the hash that we provided. And then this was the password that it equated to, is "let me in." So really fast. I was trying to think if it showed you. Yeah. So in that little bit of time, even running CPU, that was the 4096th password in the list of just over 14 million. So yeah, here's the list of RockU. 14,344,385 passwords. So real world, you won't always crack a lot with RockU. Not like business-wise stuff. Some people that use weak Wi-Fi or weak passwords in general for sites, you can use RockU. It will crack a lot of passwords for you. And I want to show you guys another tool while we're here besides Hashcat too that's works really well. There's a website called CrackStation, and it's crackstation.net, and you can simply just put in your hash. This is the same one that we just done. That was "let me in." It's a free password hash cracker, and you'll see down here what it supports: NTLM, MD5, so forth, so on. So I've used this before just to test. It works really well. They have I'm trying to remember where they pulled this from. Let's see, I think it says on here. From the Wikipedia databases, adding with every password list they could find. And says they have hashes, MD5 hashes have 190 gigs of hashes, which is 15 billion entry lookup table. So that's pretty quick. And then they also have other hashes, 19 gigabytes, 1.5 billion entry lookup table. So it does a really good job with your hashes. So click "I'm not a robot." And I hate these Google things because sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So we'll get through this. See if we can find one, just one picture on one thing to make it easier. There we go. Okay. There. So then you hit crack hashes. It's going to pull it here. It's going to tell you the type that the hash was that you provided. Here's the hash you provided. Here's the password that it cracked. So this is also a useful tool, but if you didn't have access to the internet, if you're on like an engagement or something, you can use Hashcat to kind of pull them well. But another good asset, crackstation.net. Okay. All right, guys, that's all I have. I showed you guys how to crack MD5 hash, NTLM hash, how to search, how to grep for those hashes as well inside the hash. Hashcat help file, that way it kind of narrows it down so you're not going crazy, going line by line by line, trying to find the module that you need to use. Plan on doing another video here soon of how you do brute forcing with Hashcat and how you can make that mask yourself using digits and special characters and things like that, just kind of seeing how much feedback I get from this video, and if you guys like it and subscribe to my channel and you share it, that'll prompt me that you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll go ahead and make the other one that shows brute forcing as well. But thank you guys for watching.